that straightened out for me? It was a little bit crooked, I think.
Oh, it was backwards.
All right,
It's sitting there.
you let me know. We got a good. All right, we got sound. We got sound. Okay, I think we're almost ready here. I'm always worried about my girls. Some of my girls here, but anyway, we counted yesterday when we set this up that we had 175 or more chairs in here, and I never know, but this is awesome. I appreciate everybody that's coming, and you know, it's this is my 20th year of doing this. I have a note here that says, "Don't cry." But those of you who've seen me for the last 20 years know that I'm a big ball baby, because this is a special event. I started it at the middle school when I was a teacher there. I am a Vietnam veteran, and I want to keep this going. My girls here, will introduce them as they come through. Some of them have been doing this for over 5 years. They started out as 6th graders, so it's a big event for everyone. But a couple reminders, those of you that have the urge, the restrooms are in the back. If you get thirsty, you need a drink, there's coffee, juice, water back there. Parents and anybody else, when your child or someone's up here and you want to take a picture, you can come right up here and stand right in front of them if you want and embarrass them. But give them a little space so you can take pictures wherever you want. And I think we're ready to go. We're going to do the presentation of the colors with the Molalla VFW. If you would all stand, please. Be seated, please. Just those of you doing the program, when I started this many years ago, it was trying to get students involved, and the last couple of years we've been having the high school social airs come in and do our national anthem. They do a wonderful job. Even, I'd like to give them a round of applause because they're just such a good job. This is, sometimes I want to change which video I want to show or what I don't want to do, but this is always, this first video is just kind of a reminder to everybody who we are and what we are, and to let you understand the program. So Jim's going to get us started with our first video, I Fought for You.
Three teens were arrested today for defacing the Kensington Park War Memorial overnight. The destruction includes painted messages against the military and the war in the Middle East. The three teens were picked up in the early morning hours after evidence was left at the scene.
Grandpa, something wrong?
Some people sure have short memories, and those who are too young to know need to be taught. Come on, I want to show you guys something.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
At dawn on the morning of the 6th of June, 1944, 225 Rangers jumped off the British landing craft and ran to the bottom of these cliffs. 225 came here. After 2 days of fighting, only 90 could still bear arms. These are the boys who fled to hope. These are the men who took the cliffs. These are the champions who helped free a continent. These are the heroes who helped end a war. You are men who in your, quote, lives fought for life and left the vivid air signed with your honor.
In the name of God and country, I learned to defy gravity.
To honor my family,
I lived in the belly of a beast.
I fixed the hearts of iron monsters.
I became a worm in the mud for dignity,
For honor, for righteousness' sake.
for God and country.
I fought for you.
I fought for you.
For you.
I fought for you.
I fought for you. I fought for you.
I fought for you.
For you.
For you.
For you.
For you.
I fought for you.
I fought for you.
I fought for you, and I'd do it again.
Well, I screwed up my fourth bullet point. I'm already crying. I don't know how many times I've seen that, but it gets this program started. I'd like to welcome our first guest speaker. I'll call him friend. I don't know what he calls me, but a good friend of mine, retired Colonel Scott Delbridge. He's going to give us an opening remarks here. Scott, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. One of your fellow citizens. I've been here about 22 years. I married a gal who was born and raised here, so I've been grafted into this Molalla family tree somehow. So it's good. About 20 years ago, I kind of went from the streets of Salo Road to the downtown Baghdad and did it a couple of times, and I see some people who have done that as well. And so it's good just to kind of remind you here. Mike kind of lassos me in, and I appreciate it, though, Mike. It's good. About every year about this time, across America, we perform rituals. The ritual is about American citizens taking a federal holiday, banks close, post offices close, and the UPS says no bills for you today. And as a matter of fact, if you had a bill due today, you have a 3-day reprieve and it won't come out till Monday. Did you know that? I'm a man of good news, so. This ritual or rituals that we do in honors of worship, of houses of worship, in schools and in lodges and in halls and cemeteries and downtowns. Today will be a ritual at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The biggest vet parade in America, it's going to be on its 104th one, is going to be in New York. You can be proud here in Oregon to have a large ritual. In Albany, we have the 3rd largest Veterans Parade in America. 3rd largest in America, in Albany, Oregon. So it's called the Lynn County Veterans Day Parade, and it'll be tomorrow if you want to go down there. The streets are packed. Here in Molalla, we celebrate this annual ritual with this one specifically started by a Vietnam veteran, Mike Clarke, and we appreciate it, Mike. And my full-time job, I'm with the Department of Veterans Affairs, so I lead 2 Vietnam groups, and so it's an honor to continue to work with Vietnam veterans. I want to just talk just for a second, the power of ritual. We just did a ritual. By the way, that was beautiful. The social errors, awesome job. That was just a wonderful rendition. Many people see rituals as mundane or repetitive or not this again idea. But every week, houses of worship, churches, synagogues, temples, and mosques perform weekly rituals, and there's something to them, right? The power of a ritual. I kind of got online and said, what is the power of rituals that we're doing like we are today? One is to reaffirm your connection to something, family, fun, faith, country, to raise your energy towards patriotism, to remembrance, to celebrate and to honor and to dedicate ourselves to a path like being better citizens. How does it work? I like to think of rituals like what we're doing today as freeze-dried food. Being in Vietnam, they were the LRPs, the long-range patrols, would take out freeze-dried food. If you just add water, did you know that? And you think that wouldn't be any good, but I actually got online, not Wikipedia, by the way. Freeze-dried foods retain their flavor. Freeze-dried foods retain their color and their structure, and moreover, they retain their nutritional content, and freeze-dried food's shelf life is significantly longer than regular food. Say, what are you saying? The beauty is that we can take freeze-dried foods anytime we want, add water, and wham, you bring back the original food to its life. And so today, we, along with Americans across our great nation, are bringing out the rituals that preserve the essence of what we should never forget. So how do you add your water today to these rituals? How do you make these rituals that we're doing today come to life? How do we get the rituals to regain what it had initially when it started? Remember is the first thing. Remember. It's easy to forget, even more so as we age. It's easy to forget how good we have it as Americans. To live our daily lives with the four freedoms. Freedom of worship, freedom of speech, freedom from want, freedom from fear. And our young people sometimes grow up in this country and they don't realize that, guess what? It didn't just happen. This just doesn't happen. To remember is to appreciate and to participate and to support and to remember those freedoms we have and to recall actual people. The Vietnam Wall's got names written on it. Many of the names of the people that I meet with weekly have friends that are on that names of that wall. Others never made it. Some are known, some are unknown, some are be forgotten. I was just talking with Stephen back here, one of our citizens in Molalla. His daughter was killed in 2008 in Iraq, and he is here with us today. And I want to honor your daughter, Stephen, today to remember what she did for us. It's good for those of us who are living and enjoying our freedoms to bring out the rituals and water them and to remember. And lastly, because I'm an old preacher, to inspire. Not sure when my desire to serve started. Maybe it was seeing a photo of my dad during the Korean War. Maybe it was when I was reading world books. Anybody remember world books? Encyclopedias, they'd come to your house door to door and sell them to you. Maybe it was when I was building my model of the USS Arizona or my planes, and I would hang them from strings and I would have them pretending to be fighting each other in my bedroom. I don't know when I actually got my desire to serve, but I'm sure of this. Every nation needs to show our young people and inspire within them a desire to serve either in the military or in their communities. Today we honor our veterans, and for good reason. They're the 1% of our citizens. It's an honor to live in this community with you. It's an honor to be here today as we go through this ritual. My hope is that we leave here proud and inspired to be better Americans. God bless you guys.
Thank you for coming in, okay? I appreciate it. You don't know how much it means. All right. Scotty talked about freeze-dried food. Scotty, you've never had spaghetti out of a sea ration can? You've never had soup out of a sea ration can, so don't tell me how wonderful it is. All you Vietnam veterans, you understand what a sea ration is and how good they taste. All right. We're getting to our speakers, and I'm very fortunate to have these young ladies up here. A couple of them, it's their first time. A couple of them, more than half of them, it is their fifth or sixth time. They started out as sixth graders doing this, and they've gotten to the point where we don't need to practice with you, Mr. Clarke. We know what we're doing, you know. Okay. And so really they do all this on their own. A couple of them have written their own speeches. If you've got your programs, you'll notice that we have 3 sets of sisters here that have been doing this. And then another one that, the third Mammoth, she's a niece to them. And so anyway, we've got a great group here, and we're going to start off with our first speaker, Mackenzie Erlinger. Yes, you.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie. This is my second year speaking in this program, and I'll be reading History of Veterans Day. World War I, known as the Great War, officially ended when the Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919 in the town of Versailles, France. However, fighting ceased 7 months later when an armistice between the Allied nations and Germany went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. For that reason, November 11th, 1918 is generally regarded as the end of the war to end all wars. An act by Congress on May 13, 1938, made the 11th of November in each year a legal holiday to be dedicated to the cause of the world peace and thereafter celebrated known as Armistice Day. Armistice Day was a day to set aside to honor the veterans of World War I. In 1954, World War II was required the greatest mobilization of soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen in the nation history, and the Korean War ended. Congress was asked by veterans organized to change the World Armistice Day to Veterans. On June 1st, 1954, November 11th became a day to honor Americans and veterans of all wars. Veterans Day continues to be observed on November 11th, regardless of what day of the week on which it falls. The restoration of the Observe Veterans Day to November 11th not only preserves the historical significance of the date, but also helps focus attention to the importance of Veterans Day, a celebration to honor American veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good.
Again, awesome to start off with. Our next speaker, Anya Cortez, is going to give us a little history of the military. And just so I don't forget, I will make the announcement. All you Marines, happy birthday. As an Army guy, it's hard to say anything about the Marines, but I like you anyway. All right, next speaker. All right, Anya.
Hello, my name is Anya, and I'll be reading to you the history of the military. The Army was formed on June 14, 1775. Small militias in the 13 colonies merged into the Army. They fought in the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, and many others. The Air Force was created on September 18, 1947. It was formed as a separated branch of military under the National Security Act. Before that, they were called Air Corps. They helped in World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam War, the Cold War, and much more. The Coast Guard was formed under the Tariff Act on August 4, 1790. 10 vessels were positioned on the East Coast to prevent further terrorist smuggling and trade laws. As evolved from that into a branch of military that was helped in many wars, including World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War. The Navy was formed on October 13, 1775, at the Second Continental Congress. It was formed to defend the Patriots from the British regulars. The Navy was a part of the War of 1812, Mexican-American War, the Spanish-American War, Civil War, and many others. The Marines were formed by the Continental Congress on November 10, 1775, led by Samuel Nicholas. The Marines were meant to be in naval infantry. They fought in the Barbary War, World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War. Hoorah!
You can breathe now, Anya. She did a great job coming up. This next part of our program, the Quilts of Valor, it's something we started a few years ago, and it's turned into, very special for this program. If you know someone that you would like to nominate for a Quilt of Valor after you see the program, if you know someone that is deserving of this, just having to serve any part of the military. So if you would, there's nomination papers in the back, you can get a hold of me, Janelle, and we will make this happen. So Janelle, you are in charge now.
Well, I represent the Quilts of Valor. This was something that was handed to me, literally. Faith, who normally does this, has kind of retired from this. She's got a full-time job now and just can't do it anymore. Anyway, we are going to award these Quilts of Valor. They were actually started in 2003 by a woman whose son requested his mom to make quilts for the guys that were under him. Anyway, he actually, she set out with her quilting gals, and they actually wanted to make 100 quilts to send to these guys. Well, it took them 3 years to make those 100 quilts. Since that time, so 20 years, they've produced more than 350,000 quilts. And I say we're just getting started, because we need to cover all the veterans that have fought for us. So today I just have 9 people, and I'm hoping they're all here. First one up is Aaron Christofferson. You just stand right here? Yes. Okay, guys.
Stand right there.
Okay, stand over here. These quilts are meant to comfort and warm you. Yeah, and and there is a name tag on each one that has your name and your branch of service, and a thank you for your time and effort. Aaron? And we would like to, at the end of the program, if we could get everybody that gets a Quilt of Valor to come up, and we'll take a picture of the whole group then. Okay, the next. Okay, the next one is Cindy Wright. You got to tell me how to say this. Rio? Oh, Ranuil. Okay. It's upside down, guys. That eagle was flying inverted. Okay. Thank you so much, Cindy. Cindy, I've got a certificate here for you also. Thank you. Next one is Steve Long. Thank you very much. Next up is John Parrish. That one's got a panel also. Next up is Steve Hinkle. Next one is Peter Harwood. Thank you, Steve. The next is Gary Ruggles. You want to turn around so you can see it? There you go. Whoops. Next one up is, well, it says Gerald, but it's Jerry Gobey. Thank you, Gary. Thank you. And last, we have Curtis Kessler. I've got a poem to read, and the reason I left it till last was because I might not have been able to say all these names otherwise. I joined the Mike Clarke side here. I said, I joined the Mike Clarke here. I saved the poem till last.
It's a tough one.
The Quilt of Valor poem is this: a few pieces of cloth from people who care. To honor your service, it only seems fair. Carefully chosen materials of red, white, and blue, sewn together for those patriotic and true. Top pieced together with caring and pride, then quilted with backing and warm layer inside. Each stitch and seam sewn from the very start with appreciation and gratitude straight from the heart. For you who have sacrificed for those here at home, may this quilt warm and comfort you wherever you roam. Our hope is with this quilt is to make sure you knew we appreciate all you've done and all you've been through. Now, when the program is done, if you would, the Quilt of Valor recipients, if you would come forward, and I'd like to get a photo of everybody. And besides that, I get to hug all the veterans.
Want to do it now? Picture of everybody?
Do you want to do it now? Sure. We could do it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All Quilts of Valor men.
This isn't tissues. Wrap your quilts around you again.
Who's taking pictures?
Marcy is.
Marcy?
Yes.
All right. Piece of cake, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing to this program.
Yes, could we have it staggered, because we've got quite a few. Yes, you go stay in front, Cindy.
Janelle, you don't want to talk anymore? I think a round of applause for Janelle and all these women who put these quilts together. Those of you that just received your quilt, it is an honor. You will notice that not a single quilt over the thousands that are made, there are none of them that are exactly alike. Each quilt is completely different from another one. There's going to be some parts, but it's they're very special. And I know I have mine, and it's sitting right there in my chair. So enjoy and appreciate them. Okay, moving on with the program. Where are we at here? Macy, ready? Okay, our next speaker, Macy Jones, one of our senior visitors.
Hi, my name is Macy. This is my 5th year speaking in this program. I'm thankful for the opportunity and would like to thank you all for your service. Today, I'll be reading That Ragged Old Flag by Johnny Cash. I walked through a county courthouse square. On a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "No, it will do for our little town." I said, "Your old flagpole is leaning a bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat," and I sat down. "Is this the first time you've been to our little town?" "Well," he said, "I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a hole in the flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And it got powder burns the night Francis Scott Key sat watching it writing, 'Oh, say can you see?' And it got a bad rip at New Orleans when a Packingham and Jackson took it to the scene. And it almost fell at the Alamo besides the Texas flag, but she waved on though. She got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville, and she got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg. The south wind blew hard on that old ragged flag. On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red World War II, and she hung limp and low a time or two. She was in Korea and Vietnam. She went from our ships upon the murky foam. Now they've quit waving her here back at home. In our good land, she's been abused, she's been burned, dishonored, denied, and refused. Because she's been through the fire before, I believe she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, and we take her down every night. We don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her up right. On second thought, I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.
I'm going to lose a bunch of these girls there, unless they're like, they come back. But these senior girls, seniors in high school, I'm out recruiting new speakers. So if you know somebody that's just loving to come and speak in front of people, let me know. Okay, our next speaker, Annika Cortez. She's giving us a speech here about the POWs and MIA. Our table set here.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my name is Annika. I'm very honored to be here. This will be my 4th year speaking, and today I will be reading to you the POW MIA Remembrance Ceremony. As you enter the banquet hall this afternoon, you may have noticed a small table in place of honor. It is set for one. This table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs or MIAs. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this afternoon, and so we remember them. This table set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of the one prisoner against his oppressors. Remember, the tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember, the single red rose is displaced in a vase, reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep the faith awaiting their return. Remember. The red ribbon tied so prominently on the vase is resemblance of the yellow ribbon worn upon the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear witness of their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of our missing. Remember. The candle. The candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their unconquerable spirit. Remember, a slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember, there is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Remember, the glass is inverted. They will not toast with us this afternoon. Remember, the chair is empty. They are not here. Remember, all of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depend upon their might and aid, and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember, until the day they come home. Remember.
We don't make fun of short people, we just lower the microphones. Oh, and I don't mention names, do I, honey? Had the discussion. Next speaker, good friend of mine, Patricia Carroll, asked to come up and please talk for us a little bit.
Well, I'd like to introduce myself. And first of all, can you hear me in the back? Okay. I am a VFW auxiliary member. I became eligible under my husband, George Carroll, who is a Marine from Vietnam, and that made me eligible to be an auxiliary member. And I'm also a friend of Mike's. Mike came and spoke at my program that I do on May 1st. It's called Loyalty Day. A long time ago. So we've been working together kind of off and on. Also a member of the VFW. And I got to sing the national anthem a couple of years ago for Mike here. And what we didn't know at the time was I was just at the beginning phase of getting COVID. I was on a respirator, I lost my singing voice, and I can't sing anymore. But I want everybody to know that veterans don't stop serving when they get out of the service, they keep on serving. And auxiliary members and family members also serve. We all serve. We take care of each other. We continue to, well, my favorite program in the auxiliary is Americanism. I love Americanism. I want to teach kids the proper way to stand up and salute a flag and the words of the national anthem and all the proper things that, well, just doesn't seem to be very politically correct anymore. But I kind of lost my niche when I lost my voice. So Mike sent me a message and said, can you sing this year? And like last year, I said, no, I can't. And I thought about it, and I said, you know what, I'm not done serving. So I texted him back, and I said, if there's a microphone, I could talk. And he said, of course I have time for you. And such a trusting man, he didn't ask me what I was going to say or how long I might talk. And those of you that know me behind a microphone, that could be dangerous. But I wanted to do something that I had done at Loyalty Day on May 1st this last year. I was able to be strong enough to put a program together. And I found this and I went, I don't remember Mike's girls doing I Am the Nation. I might have found something he didn't know about. So I'm going to read this. It's called I Am the Nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776. And the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am the nation. I am 281 million living souls and the ghosts of those who have lived and fought and died for me. I am Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard around the world. I am Washington, Jefferson, and Patrick Henry. I am John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, and Davy Crockett. I am Lee, Grant, Abe Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, Pershing, Eisenhower, MacArthur, Patton, and Colin Powell. I remember the Alamo, the Maine, Pearl Harbor, and September 11, 2001. When freedom called, I answered and stayed until it was over there. I left my heroic dead in Flanders Fields, the rock of Corregidor, and I practiced that one too, Corregidor, on the bleak slopes of Korea, in the steaming jungles of Vietnam, and the desert sands of Kuwait. I am the Statue of Liberty, the wheat fields of Kansas, the granite hills of Vermont, and Tennessee, the volunteer state. I am the coal fields of the Virginians and the Pennsylvania, the fertile lands of the West, the Golden Gate, Brooklyn Bridge, and the Grand Canyon. I am Independence Hall, the Monitor, the Merrimack, and the Challenger. I am the Liberty Bell that first rang for freedom. I am big. I sprawl from the Atlantic to the Pacific, 3 million square miles of land throbbing with industry. I am 2 million farms. I am forest, field, mountain, and desert. I am quiet villages and cities that never sleep. You can look at me and see Ben Franklin walking down the streets of Philadelphia with his bread loaf under his arm. You can see the lights of Christmas and hear the strains of Auld Lang Syne as the calendar turns. I am Babe Ruth in the World Series. I am more than 170,000 schools and colleges and more than 300,000 churches where my people worship God as they choose. I am a ballot dropped into a box, the roar of a crowd in a stadium, the voice of a chair in a cathedral. I am an educational editorial in a newspaper and a letter to Congress. I am John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, and their fellow astronauts whirled above my head. I'm Eli Whitney and Stephen Foster, Tom Edison, Albert Einstein, and Billy Graham. I am Horace Greeley, Will Rogers, and the Wright brothers. I am George Washington Carver, Jonas Salk, and Martin Luther King Jr. I am Longfellow, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Walt Whitman, and Thomas Paine. Yes, I am the nation, and these are the things I am. I was conceived in freedom, and God willing, in freedom I shall spend the rest of my days. May I always possess the integrity, the courage, and the strength to keep myself unshackled, to remain a citadel of freedom and a beacon of hope to the world. And may we all continue to serve.
Before I get going here, those of you who know me and have been around a while know that I can sometimes be a smart ass. But, and I would pick on people, but when I pick on a Marine, or I pick on the Air Force, or I pick on a Navy guy, I do it because I served with them, and we are, but I swear to God, if you are not served and you pick on any one of my comrades, I will do my best to kick your ass. All right, so we understand each other, that I'm not up here putting down any branch. I'm up here recognizing my comrades, but we all understand each other and what we've been through. Okay, now we can move on. I want to apologize. I don't want people to think I'm always this bad, just most of the time. Okay, our next speaker, She already graduated from high school, but she wanted to come back. She's been around for a while. She wrote this story of hers. The VFW does a writer's competition, and she entered it, and she won the competition. And we always like having Emily come back and read what she wrote that day. Emily.
Hi, my name is Emily. This is my 7th year speaking for Clarke, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to honor all of our veterans, as well as thank you all for your service. Thank you. This is called Why I Honor the American Flag. As Clarke mentioned, I wrote it a few years ago. Our American flag has stood by us in the good and the bad times, through the wars and the battles, during the riots, the marches, the sit-ins, all against our own country. She kept on waving. She waved through the American Revolution when we carried her representing our newly born country. She hung high at the Alamo when Texas separated from Mexico. She stood with us when our country was pitted against each other during the Civil War. She continued to wave proudly as we entered World War I on the battlefields of Western Europe against Germany. She stood by us and was witness to the horrific attack of Pearl Harbor, and a witness again as we saw our vengeance against Japan and her allies ending World War II. She was burned and dishonored during the Vietnam War, but she persevered. She continued to wave above us as we were victorious in the Persian Gulf. She was tattered and torn as our beloved homeland was brutally attacked on September 11th, 2001. Through all these historic wars and battles, Old Glory has prevailed and stands strong still today. Thankfully, I have not been a personal witness to any of these wars or battles, yet I have the greatest reverence and respect for our flag and her beauty and her red, white, and blue, and the strong, proud stars and stripes. I have been moved to tears by the tragedies that our country has endured. How could I not be when our great flag is the symbol of our United States and all of the men and women who have gone before us in battle to protect us and to ensure that we keep the freedom we have today, and to keep our flag waving high. While we may not understand or agree with all that goes on in our great country, it is so important that we understand our flag is more than just a piece of material waving in the wind. It is a symbol of all that America has gone through to date and a symbol of hope and strength for our future. It unites us all as Americans and should forever be respected for the sacrifice countless others have paid for us and our freedom. I'm forever grateful to be the American that I am, and I will always honor the flag and what it stands for. Thank you.
This next young man, Travis, has been coming here since we started at the middle school and doing songs for us. And he's a former student. Forgot to mention Steve Hinkle when he came up here to get his Quilts of Valor. Student, played football for me. And some of our officers here have been around, and they know me back from the teaching days, so I appreciate everyone here. But I'd like to invite my good friend Travis Powell to come forward, please.
Good morning. It's awesome to be with you all. To some of you, I'm sorry to keep showing up. Mr. Clarke keeps asking me back because I didn't serve too well in 8th grade and in high school, so I guess this is my community service to try to do it good the second time around. But it's indeed a humbling experience to be here with those who served before me, my brothers and sisters that did that. I'm always touched to see here your own goodwill to gather together again. It's humbling also to remember those that aren't here today, but they went forward, many did. And as we know, some didn't come back. It's humbling to be here with those that were the backbone of those that went. You encouraged them while they were gone, welcomed them with open arms when they came home. As we know, many of the nation did not welcome them back. Then we have those currently serving. We have some that are yet to serve yet. And I wonder sometimes which one in this crowd will be the ones to wear the uniform. But it's awesome to be here today, not to pat ourselves on the back, but it's also a time where some of us meet for the first time that served. Some of us are reuniting. I don't really participate in that stuff Mr. Clarke talked about, the jabs and being a smart aleck, unless they're in the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, or the Coast Guard. I don't really poke jabs at them because I'm in the Army, so I'll poke jabs at all of them. But no, it's awesome to have that camaraderie. And like Mr. Clarke said, you don't really have that right to poke at them unless you served along with them. And it's been an awesome time to be able to be together, to serve in foreign lands, to serve here, but to be ready to respond. So I think this community, that it's important you to join together. I hope one thing that technology never does is let us start doing this like we do text to people we haven't seen in a while. Hey, how you doing? Get on Facebook, and I'm guilty of as well. We make our greetings there. I hope we always consider it's good to get here in person because it's important enough to gather together, remember all that's done, what's to come yet, to encourage one another together. And Molalla is a place that I'm so proud that we still do that. Thank you. If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank the Lord above to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the ones who died, who gave that right to me. I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the ones who died, who gave that right to me. I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the ones who died, who gave that right to me. I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Amen. Amen.
Travis always does a great job, and we put him right about this part of the program because our butts are tired and we need to stand up and stretch too. Thank you again. We have some special guests today. Some of them snuck in on me, but our Clackamas County Commissioners, Paul group, come up. They're going to say a couple words.
down. I go up some days I don't wanna come down. Well, I fly that plane, call the angel flight. Come on, brother, you're with me tonight. Between heaven and earth, you're never alone. On the angel flight, come on, brother, I'm taking you home. I love my family and I love this land, but tonight this flight's for another man. We do what we do 'cause we heard the call. Some gave a little, but he gave it all. I fly that plane, call the angel flight. Come on, brother, you're with me tonight. Brother, you're with me tonight. Between heaven and earth, you're never alone. On the angel flight, come on, brother, I'm taking you home. Come on, brother, I'm taking you home. Angel flight, Bravo 0, can you check that level 2 down? We got a hero on board tonight. Roger, radar contact, Godspeed. Well, the carpet's quiet and the stars are bright. Feels kinda like church in here tonight. It don't matter where we touch down. On the angel flight, it's sacred ground. When I fly that plane, call the angel flight. Got a hero riding with us tonight. Riding with us tonight. Between heaven and earth, you're never alone. On the angel flight, come on, brother, I'm taking you home. 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 Commercial tower, good afternoon, Angel Flight Bravo 0, keep security on 5 miles. Angel Flight Bravo 02, you're number 1 for landing, welcome home.
One simple but brilliant trick to heat your home in 90 seconds and save thousands of dollars on your heating bill this winter.